So are we doing this, Tanmay?
Yes, sure, yeah. Finally, we are into it.
Finally, it took us somewhere around 6 years to get here. A brief story of what this podcast is all about. So, Tanmay and I met during peak pandemic. We didn't meet in person, but we met on internet. And one of the first real conversations on call I had with Tanmay was on his dad's retirement party, where Tanmay told me, I'm I'm getting undressed, and me who didn't really understand the concept of giving people boundaries, I said, Tanmay, what do you think? Do you think we should do a podcast? Tanmay said, absolutely, we should do a podcast. What do you want to talk about? I'm like, let's talk about our lives. Now, this is my overestimation that we both live amazing lives that people across the world would want to know about us. We really don't. Okay. But what we do have is amazing opinions. Opinions that will make you laugh, opinions that will probably make you cry. We both are so mean to each other. Sometimes we do not talk without sarcasm for hours. We just say sarcastic things to each other. Okay.
Then,
So let me
no matter
introduce you.
when, like, even if it's like we are in peak sleep mode, we will give a sarcasm and then say good night.
Yeah. Now it is one of your time to take your long pauses that you're famous for across Bangalore so that I can introduce you. So, guys, allow me to introduce my very good friend, Tanmay. Tanmay is a designer by profession and he's amazing. He is stoic. Oh, by the way, a correction. Tanmay's preferred pronouns are they and them. So Tanmay, so every now and then I slip into he, him. But Tanmay understands that I respect his preference and sometimes out of nature or habit, it just comes out. Because I've known Tanmay for a really long time. So what I do is I refer to everybody as they and them to avoid offending them. Apart from that whole they them bit, Tanmay is amazing. Tanmay is creative, Tanmay is funny, Tanmay is sarcastic. Tanmay is one of the best designers. And he takes his time. Tanmay Tilde has designed so many looks for me, from jackets to clothes for my brother's wedding. And I'm getting married in a couple of months. And Tanmay will be designing clothes for me. He'll say no. He'll say many things. But I know on my wedding day, I'll be styled by a Tanmay. So that is Tanmay for you. Tanmay, the stage is on to you.
Hi guys, I'm Tanmay. You have heard a lot of truth and false things about me, but yeah, he pretty much summed me up. So, as you said, yes, we our very first conversation in our lives of trying, no, not even trying, we're not getting to know each other, but we were just on a call, was let's do a podcast. Now, we never knew that the podcast will take 6 years. At one point, we also gave up on it and it faded in the background. And recently, he has been pushing me to watch a movie and then do a podcast. So yeah, here are our 2 cents on some movie. But before that, if I want to describe Shaurya, I would just say one thing. First, he is a northerner posing as Kannadiga. Second, I be mean to him because he is mean to me. Third, that defines our friendship and that defines our closeness.
Hey, you didn't define me yet.
Oh, did I? Sorry. There's nothing much to define in you. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like he is a techie who was a journalist, maybe semi succeeded at both of them. But yeah, the trivia knowledge of Shaurya is like so good. Like sometimes I doze off when he speaks to me, and then I'm like, yeah, 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 sure. But yeah, that doesn't get away from the fact that he's very knowledgeable, has an amazing taste in things except from fashion. I really like whenever he suggests me something, I make it a point to look because I know that he knows my taste and he also has a great taste like me. So yeah, here we are. trying to do a podcast. I hope this ends up in a great taste for you guys too.
Oh my God. I hope Spotify buys our podcast for $250 million at least. I mean, like, come on, dude. We are more interesting than probably Joe Rogan. I might be overshooting it, but I have this amazing idea of building an audio network where we bring on amazing people who talk about stuff, life, politics, sports, music, fashion, and hey, Tanmay and I will cover movies. I will eventually want to talk about politics and crime, but that's a whole different story. So today we are going to discuss this very, very underrated and over memeified movie, Sister Midnight. Okay, Tanmay, you wanna start with a quick synopsis of Sister Midnight before I go ahead and explain the whole movie in detail?
Sure. So, Sister Midnight, one of, I think, very easily misunderstood movie, but a gem of a movie. So basically, it's about a woman going through a tough post-marital relationship with her husband and figures out few things on the way about her, about life, about midnight. And yeah, I think the more we will talk about it, it's better than the synopsis because Sister Midnight explores so many themes, like there's a social theme, there's a slightly horror which turned into a comedy theme, but also I think it's a social commentary, and it's better if we, instead of having it a synopsis, we will have it. We should talk about it on a length.
Interesting. So when you open one of the the posters of the movie, people call it unapologetically wild. Radhika Apte is sensational. Hey, come on, she is sensational. Fiery and unpredictable, absolutely unpredictable. You don't have like you watch all these posters, like little bit snips of Radhika Apte carrying a tall as broom, and you wonder what this movie is about. And lastly, the movie has been called audaciously funny. And trust me, it is so funny. Okay. And when you go through a quick overview or premise of the movie, it says a woman is transformed into a disturbing and ruthless figure after entering an arranged marriage. One would assume that she turns towards violence and so on and so forth. But that's not like close to even this one line. Woman is transformed, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't even describe the movie, what it actually is. Okay, the movie has premiered at 2024 Cannes and during the director's fortnight, and then it was nominated for the BAFTA Awards for Outstanding Debut by a British writer, director, or producer. And the film was surprisingly released in India in theaters in May 2025. But knowing the Indian audience, I'm pretty sure the movie was not a huge success in theater. But then again, these movies should be encouraged. Like, not because they are niche movies, but they are amazing movies. They show the kind of talent Indian storytellers have and they can show. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a detailed story of this movie. Okay, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched it, this is where you pause it. Go watch the
And please
movie.
go and watch it, yeah, because you will enjoy it as we are discussing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, this movie is an unexpected ride. Like, I've watched a lot of movies. I do watch a lot of movies. I like but this is one of my top 10 of all time. I don't think it's coming down anytime soon based on the shit that Bollywood and Hollywood is producing these days. The majority is shit, and there are these rare gems that you have to look out for. Okay, you ready, Tanmay, for the story?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the movie stars Radhika Apte, goddess, and then it stars Ashok Pathak. You might not remember Ashok Pathak by name, but Ashok Pathak popularly played Binod in Panchayat, and then the movie stars Chaya Kadam. Like, and these three are the primary characters of the story, but the central figures are Uma and Gopal, played by Radhika Apte and Ashok Pandit. Okay, so the movie starts with Radhika Apte and Ashok Pandit, who are newly married, coming to Mumbai. Now, if anybody has been to Mumbai, Mumbai is really crowded, and to make no matter how much you earn, your houses are never big. Fun fact: I went to Mumbai in 2017, and I think I lived in a very good flat, and then I wanted to use the washroom. I was at a friend's place, and my friend is like, "You might not be used to the guest washroom because it's smaller. You use the main washroom. It is bigger." I went there, and I said, "There is no leg room in the washroom." So that's how small Mumbai flats are. Mumbai, Mumbai, in terms of real estate, is a horror story in itself. Okay, so Radhika and Gopal, Uma and Gopal come to the flat. Now, Uma and Gopal are eccentric, to say the least, not because they do weird stuff, but they are just to your face. Okay, the first night they reach. Now, the minute Radhika tries to change, Gopal just walks out of the house, and Gopal comes back in after she's changed, and then he looks at Radhika, like hinting her to get out. I need to change. So that's how uncomfortable this marriage is, and they don't consummate the marriage. And Radhika is weirdly like consumed by the loneliness of the city. Okay, that's what I could figure. And Tanmay, please correct me if I'm wrong anywhere. Okay.
I would
Mm.
like I would say one thing, like since we are still here in the story, the opening shot where she is in a train, the way the camera pans into her, and then we see that she is married and she is with Gopal. From that shot itself, you can see the disconnect of
Oh,
of their marriage. You don't have to even go any further. Just that first few scenes after the title, it shows how exactly the marriage is going to play it off to be in the entire movie. It's amazing like how intricately each shot is planned and implemented. It's amazing.
yeah. Okay. So kudos to Tanmay for pointing that out. But after the movie gets where it gets, they don't consummate the marriage and it becomes this mundane life. On the very first day, uh, Gopal leaves some money for Uma to buy groceries. Now, Uma doesn't know. Uma has never managed an household. Gopal is expecting this of her, but Uma spends the entire money on that thing and she doesn't know how to cook. And this is where Sheetal, who's played by the brilliant Chaya Kadam, enters the picture. Sheetal happens to be Uma's neighbor. Okay. Now, Uma and Sheetal form a, I wouldn't say sisterly bond. It is more based on like this, you know, this
I think it's a
instant.
trauma bonding that they are both lonely in that
Oh,
world together.
absolutely trauma bonding. That was the word I was looking for. Okay. So they both form this bond and it is very sweet to see. Now, you wonder if Gopal is not interested in Uma, but one fine day, Uma catches Gopal, to be less crude, uh, pleasuring
It's a
himself.
masturbating dude. I think everyone is adult here.
I mean, I don't know if we can read this podcast 18 plus. But then again, I don't
Mhm.
think the concept of masturbation is 18 plus even in India.
Yeah,
Okay.
it starts at 12:13, so it's okay.
Oh, by the way, you have to know one thing. Tanmay and I, this podcast, we want it to be very conversational. Like, we'll go on so many detours, but we'll make sure to come to the point. Okay. Okay. So, next thing, Uma, every night, Uma steps out of her house while her husband is sleeping, facing away from her, and steps out of the house and smokes. And some nights she just walks like into the darkness with her hair open and her nightie. I mean, Radhika kills. Like, these shots are to die for. These scenes are to die for. And then one fine day, she's so frustrated with everything that's happening. She asks her husband to take her on a trip. And then they go on this trip and they go to Goa and they don't know where to come back. And there are these scenes where Radhika is just like your everyday woman, but she kills it. Like he'll say, Radhika says, they're waiting for the bus to go back to Mumbai. They've just reached Goa. They're waiting at the beach, and they say, "Okay, now I didn't know it was this far, so they're planning to take the very next bus, which is in 5 to 10 minutes." And Radhika says, "I want to go to the beach," and she just goes. And I'm I'm like, you just can't stop laughing at this absurdity that is going on here. And then she goes, and then they come back to Mumbai. Somehow they manage to come back to Mumbai, and very soon Radhika boards a local train. Uma, I mean, Radhika is so amazing. You just
To
while
to
watching the
to
movie.
interrupt, sorry to interrupt you there, but there's a very beautiful scene in that same bus that she says all the newly married couples also returning back from Goa in the same bus, and the sound of their bangles irritates her, and then the next day she is like, "ये तोड़ दो" to one of the couple, and he is like, "अशुभ है." She's like, "I don't care." तोड़ दो.
Oh yeah, there are
I
these
mean,
scenes like that.
yeah,
I'm coming to one of my favorite scenes, and Tanmay has promised that this will be my scene describing this scene. Okay, we're heading to
yeah.
the scene. Tanmay, please remember the promise. Don't take it away from me. This is the one thing I'm asking you. Okay, okay. So Radhika takes this train and she goes, like, I think I don't know the geography of Mumbai, but Radhika ends up on this like the opposite end of where she lives from. And then I'm guessing, and then she goes into one building and she finds a and she she's looking for a job. Now Radhika comes from this strata of society. I don't think she's educated because they don't discuss it. But the but you it is clear that she doesn't have a higher education of any sort. So she goes into this building, and I think this is some sort of like a small office. I don't know what exactly the people in that office do. She goes, and then she looks for a job. The peon comes out and says, कोई काम नहीं है यहाँ पर, but सिर्फ साफ सफाई का काम है. साफ सफाई आती है तुम्हें? Radhika suddenly says with a straight face, okay, मैं साफ सफाई की देवी हूँ. Okay. Now, there are scenes like this sprinkled everywhere. Okay, you just laugh at it. And suddenly, every night, she goes back home, like alone walking. Now she gets to clean the building. When the office is closed, that means she has to go back alone every night. And then suddenly she falls sick. And she realizes that this is not a normal fever or anything because meds are not helping her get better. There's just something weird with her. She's not hungry. She's not eating or anything. She just goes crazy. Like, you think, what is happening with her? It takes you a very funnily brutal scene to figure out what's happening with her. And if you're smart enough, you'll figure out what has happened to her in a couple of scenes. In one scene, she buys a pair of dark sunglasses. And the other scene, she steps out on the road and she suddenly starts feeling uncomfortable. She wraps herself in a blanket or a bed sheet. I don't know what it was. She wraps herself. If you haven't figured out what's happened to her, then comes the next scene. One night, she's walking back to her home from her work and she sees a goat, a normal goat that has probably uh, escaped, and then she pounces on the goat, bites its neck, and then drinks the blood. Have you figured out what's happened, Tanmay?
Yeah, but I would reserve it till when we'll discuss the entire thing.
Okay, yeah. So and then now Radhika is doing this thing. She catches birds. She tries to kill the bird. She kills the bird. She drinks their blood, throws them away, and everything. Now, one thing that keeps happening is every animal or every bird or every goat that she's killed is weirdly enough resurrecting and following Radhika like she's their mother now. Okay, and then she's doing this, and people around her house start calling her Diane or a witch. Okay. And this weirdly, a lot of things happen like this. And then suddenly, she just, it just happens that her husband also notices that something wrong with her, but he doesn't say anything because he doesn't really want to get into her business, and uh, she doesn't give two fucks about him. But eventually, she realizes it's very important that she tell Gopal what's happening. Now Gopal comes home and he says, I want to tell you something. She's like, I have to tell you something. This whole thing happens. And then he's like, no, you tell first. And then finally Gopal goes first. So today, he said, today a co-worker at my factory said that he wants to come visit. He wants to go out with his wife and like a couple's double date outing to the beach or everything. And they both are very, very uncomfortable in that situation. And then she says him her truth. And by the way, her quote unquote truth is not told anywhere in the movie. Like it's not spelled out. Okay? You just have to figure out. You just have to be perspective. That's why I think this is a very smart and brilliant movie meant for smart people who understand subtext. Okay? Who don't need a lot of information dump for them to get it. Okay? And then she tells him. And and he's surprised, shocked. I don't know how you describe whatever he's feeling. Next thing you know, they both go to this beach where they both are uncomfortable. And then they bring along this very cute dog with them. And the dog is trying to escape. Something happens to Radhika and she says, I want to take the dog for a walk. I think she goes and sets the dog free. I don't know. It's very weird. I think she sees herself in that dog where the dog is struggling to get out, but he's not able to get out. Okay. Yeah.
No, I think she gives it to a person, no?
Oh yeah,
She
she gives
hands
it
it
to a
over to a kid
person.
on a beach.
Yeah, I forgot that. That's the nicest part.
Mm.
Weirdly enough, she doesn't bite his neck off and drink the blood there. Okay. And then now her husband, who also wants to become a part of that truth, they both plan this and they both want to do it at night. And before they do it at night, I don't know if they consummate the marriage, Tanmay, but they both are naked and they both are doing something. And she bites his neck and he dies. And she puts his body in this like decorated like she decorates the body with the plants and everything, but she's
Basically,
not.
she builds an altar up for him.
Oh yeah, not an altar. I think she builds a shrine for him with his body in it.
Yeah, yeah, a shrine would be much better word, yeah.
हाँ, altar तो कुछ और हो गया ना? हाँ, okay,
I
fine.
mean, like, in a way, it is a mix of both if you see it properly.
Hmm. Okay, we let you decide what it is. I think it's a shrine with his body in it, and it's an altar because because there's a body there, right there. Okay, and then she waits for him to come back to life, and he doesn't. The place is stunk up. His body starts decomposing. She waits and waits and waits. He doesn't come back to life. Then finally, she takes his body and goes far out of the city and cremates him. Yeah, she brings his ashes back. Tell me, what does she do with the ashes?
Hmm. I think she keeps it. I think a part of ashes she lets it down in the ocean,
Yeah.
and the other part she keeps it, and Yeah, it is with her till she goes to the monastery. From there, the ashes are not with her, if I
Oh, yeah,
remember it right.
there is this monastery scene. How does she end up in the monastery though?
So after cremating him,
Hmm.
and like like she's walking and she falls and she gets injured. So one of these monks, they get her, they pick her up and get her in the monastery, feed her, make her comfortable, give her clothes. She takes bath and all. And from there, then she again goes back to her home. And there she figures that people have gathered, like a mob has gathered,
Oh yeah,
to,
like there's a literal witch hunt.
yeah. So it's literal witch hunt which she has to go through. And
So
then there's
then,
one of the favorite scenes which happens,
oh yeah, that cop guy, right?
the cop and the wire, the electric cop.
Yeah.
And love that scene.
Oh yeah. So there's this amazing scene with the cop where they're chasing her, and suddenly, what does she do?
So basically, she stays and she turns at them, and she's like, they are in a standoffish position. And the moment he takes out his gun, the electricity wire snaps and the power goes off. So they think, okay, she has activated some power and, have stopped it. So they just
Okay.
bow down to her and like submits to her. But then in the very next scene, we realize that the electricity worker mistakenly struck the
Yeah.
wrong wire, and it's
Okay.
the
So there is an amazing symbology to this whole transition that we'll talk about. Okay. So, and then Chaya Kadam, who's a friend with her husband, comes over and takes her away. Now she gives her a bag full of stuff that she had requested for. And then she boards a train. What is the train called? The train also has a very good name. Himalayan
I don't know.
Express or a Mountain
Something
Express,
like that. Something like
something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay. She boards the train and then she's sitting on a side berth and then she goes to the washroom. She opens that bag and then she dresses up. Now, the stuff that is there in the bag is black nail paint, black lipstick, black, I'm not sure if they were black bangles. It's
Black
all black.
sari.
Black sari, everything. Okay? She
She
wears
basically
everything.
becomes a goth girl, like a goth
Oh, yeah.
punk.
Goth from Parla East.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if that is offensive, but she's Radhika Apte. If I'm saying Radhika Apte from Parla East, it's a high praise for Parla East people. Okay? And then, wait, yeah, and then she goes and she looks out the door, and then the herd of goats that she had killed and then resurrected are
And the
following her.
birds.
Yeah, and the birds. And then she looks at them and smiles. Okay. The reason why she boards this mountain train is there is a particular scene where she and Chaya Kadam are talking very non-stoically, and they says where she says, Radhika says, मैं तंग आ गई हूँ इस दुनिया से, and then Chaya Kadam says, um, तो क्या करेगी? And then she says, मैं divorce लूंगी. And then they have this conversation about how women who are divorced are shamed and humiliated and they have to live a very different life and everything. And then suddenly the conversation, like then she says, I'll go to the mountains and create a world with only women, which means people like her. And then that is a scene. And then we see it happening in the end where she goes to the mountain with creatures just like her. So yeah, this is how the movie ends. So one of the things that piqued interest for me about the movie is when I was reading, okay, I go into these deep Wikipedia dives, and then I read the entire movie was shot in Mumbai, but one particular wrestling scene, a samurai wrestling scene, was shot in, I think, some foreign country on some mountain or something. Um, okay, and this scene is shown in the movie, and Radhika Apte's character is nowhere in that scene, but this scene is very important. Okay, it kind of gives you hint. I'm not going to give away that scene because let's leave something for imagination. Okay, and I'm like, why would you shoot an entire movie and just go shoot abroad uh, and shoot this scene? So that intrigued me, and that is when I was like, I want to talk about this movie. I want to watch this movie, and this movie is available on Amazon Prime Video. If you want to watch it, hey, Amazon, you want to sponsor us? We would love some money. Okay, so and I think the movie is made on a shoestring budget. Like I don't know how much money was uh, what was the budget of this movie. There's not a lot of information available on this movie, but we know the movie received high praise from global uh, cinebuffs and everything. But this movie is amazing. You should watch this movie. And then, Tanmay, do you want to go deep into the symbology?
Yeah. So just because you said about the budget, so I remember that the budget is somewhere around 11 crores in rupees for this movie, which is nothing actually if you compare it to even Kantara, dude. So this is like literally, I would say, one of the I won't say cheapest, the most budget friendly movie someone can make.
I think
So
Kanta.
yeah,
I think Kantara was made on a budget. The first one was made on a budget of 16 crores, which in today's day and age is a feat because from every cinema reel or any post that I see on Instagram that says, huh, this actor needed 5 vanity vans. This actor's hairstylist charged these many crores. This actor only shoots for 30 days but charges 2 crore a day. The movie is made on an 80 crore budget, but 50 crores were taken by this particular actor. I'm like, and this movie, this amazing piece of art was just made in 11 crores. That's
yeah.
amazing. Okay,
Uh,
Tanmay, over to you for symbology.
so yeah, so there are few scenes which really called out to me in terms of symbolism as well as in terms of just the basic rawness of it. So the montage of her, like you can see her getting lonely and it gets very uncomfortable every night. She's sleeping somewhere, she's unable to sleep, she's going and smoking, all this. Then there is the same montage where she's coming and going from the work. And yeah, if you remember the guy who works with her, he tells her that it's 4 hours by walk, and still she chooses to work there just so she can, cut spend that time.
I think
So
she wants to tire herself to sleep, is what
yes,
I think she
so
does.
yeah, so that I mean, it really speaks out to me. There are nights in all of our things that we are unable to sleep. There is this constant influx of different thoughts, be it very random or very dark or very funny. But you get tired of not sleeping and then you want to sleep. I think people with insomnia will really uh, find a chord struck with it. So yeah, so I love that montage
I
of
don't
her
think her
whatever how she spends
sleeplessness,
the night.
I don't
Huh?
think Tanmay, her sleeplessness is caused by insomnia. I think her sleeplessness is caused by this new city life and everything that she's going through. She's looked as a weirdo. Like there's this only one soul in this entire city, her neighbor and the liftman at her work, who actually she finds some connection to. So I think it has
Yeah.
got to
So
do with this loneliness.
yeah, yeah. So I think that's what feeds into insomnia. And I said it will struck with the people who has insomnia because, like for a very long time, I used to have a problem where I was unable to sleep at night. And then
Wait a
I
minute.
used to go around and, I was kind of like her at one point.
Tanmay, wait a minute. You
So
had insomnia and you didn't call me?
I think we used to talk a lot when I had insomnia.
Oh, you used me
Remember
as
during
a
lockdown
sleeping.
when the life was so mundane and so boring that we used to talk till 5 o'clock in
Wait,
the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning?
Tanmay, our life during lockdown was not boring at all. Oh my God, it was so entertaining. I mean,
Yeah.
we both were unemployed, uh, but it was really entertaining though. Okay, go on,
Yeah.
continue.
So this was like one of the first things which really spoke out to me. Then I think well, you missed this part where they are sitting in a wedding and then there is this gossip aunties gossiping, and she gets triggered by it. And it's actually a very good metaphor that there is this UV light जहाँ पे mosquitoes मर रहे हैं, and it actually feels like her कि the noise of mosquitoes and flies is similar to the aunties gossiping behind her. So she goes and switch it off. And that's where a mosquito bites her, and then this entire kind of a vampire montage starts posted. The other thing I would like to bring on the plate is like, as you said, that she goes to a beach and she wants to cry it out. But the irony of it is the people on her either side are also crying. And then, people say कि खुद का दुख के पहले दूसरों का दुख देखो दिन तुमको कम होगा. So it's like it's a very funny commentary on that, but then she gets frustrated by it, which I can totally understand. The next scene I would bring on this discussion would be, yeah, that her treatment of her husband. So we have said that she builds up like a shrine and altar, but the when she starts decorating and it's still not enough, and then she opens his eyes, that is not enough. Then the ear falls off, and she's just trying to patch things up. I think that speaks a lot about how we go through emotionally and try to patch things up, which again brings to a like that experiment was totally based on how she wraps all these birds she eat and keeps it in a box under her bed, and then when they come back to life, that's where she gets an idea. What if I get this guy and we can stay together for a life? Because it is indicated that they were very like they know each other from childhood, not that well, but yeah, they have spent some childhood together. So which scene do you want to discuss first?
I want to point out one more thing.
Hmm.
This movie shows the true condition of women in India, no matter what class you are, what society you come from, what
Yeah.
caste, what religion. Tanmay, in Article 15, right, there is a rap song. Okay. So in that rap song, there is a line, हर जाति से छोटी यहाँ औरत की जात. Okay. So in this one, there is one more scene that I would like to talk about. How the people who were trying to witch hunt her suddenly are so scared of her and bow down in front of her, right? So
Hmm.
I think that scene also is very important. That scene sums up the entire movie for me. And my thoughts on her roaming the streets at night. I mean, that just shows how safe Mumbai is. And then Tanmay, there is a scene with I don't know what's a PC term for it. Cross dresser transgenders. Um, what
Oh,
is the
yeah, yeah,
PC
yeah.
term, Tanmay?
So it's actually they're actually called eunuchs.
Okay.
So yeah, I totally forgot about it, but yeah, I love that scene where every day after once you start transforming, that one of the people like the eunuch come to her and like, और बताओ तुम्हारी खूबसूरती का राज क्या है, क्या लगा कि घूमती हो कि इतनी खिलती हो and all. And I think yeah, that's the beauty of a shot where it's I won't say that they are trying to build a friendship, but somehow builds a friendship by the end of it. Where at first, like any other, like she is feeling neglected, and then the way she gives a silent and ignorant treatment to these people on the street, and but they keep complimenting her, and then she finds a human in them, and starts talking to them and have tea with them. I think that's a very beautiful scene.
Okay, so anybody who's not understood what she becomes, uh,
She
she becomes
basically
a
becomes a vampire.
vampire. Okay, so basically she uses humanity to see human in those people, and that was the most beautiful thing. Uh, you know, uh, there are these scenes in this movie which actually make you reflect over the way you look at the world. Like, for example, she's not, uh, she's walking the streets. Like, today, a woman walking any street in any metro city, you wouldn't consider this safe, but she's walking this streets of the city at the dead of night, and she's unperturbed, unflinching. She's invisible. Like, basically, she's just walking like a ghost. And then when she goes to work, she sees these people and they're like, Khoobsurati ka raaz kya hai and everything. And then she looks at them and she runs away, she ignores them, everything. And when she finally becomes a vampire, she 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 does this. She befriends them. Like, yeah, that's how you describe what happened. She befriends them and she finds a comfort in them. And then, yeah, and after that, there's this whole story. I don't know who wrote this. Uh, Karan Kandhari. Oh, Karan Kandhari. I like this person. Yeah, they should make more movies. Okay, so the way it is written, it's amazing. I want to watch more work of theirs. They've done Bye Bye Miss Goodnight, Hard Hat, Flight to Pompadour, Sydney, Out of Tune, and then Sister Midnight. Finally, yeah, they've done amazing work. So I want to watch all of this stuff. Maybe we'll not review everything, but Sister Midnight is their peak, is epic, or their standout work till date. Okay,
I
next.
mean, I would say Sister Midnight is the one movie where all the weirdos and outcasts will find something to relate to.
I don't think it's just for weirdos and outcasts. I think it's for anybody who enjoys a good laugh, a good story, a good everything.
I mean, yeah, there was laughter in it, but the amount of depth and the amount of surrealistic motives in it, like, the when she kills that goat the very first time she drinks it. So the very first scene which happens before that is she is walking and she falls. So it's almost like she died and then she wakes up like and then she becomes a vampire. But I think it somehow shows that when a person finally gives up on the life, like they are so tortured and they are so done with it, they kind of gives up on it. But that giving up on life itself is very liberating. That she is like bhaad mein jaye duniya wala, because her entire demeanor changes from there. She actually becomes this I don't care, I don't give a fuck about anyone wala attitude, and drinking of blood is more of a symbolic rather than I would take it like a literal thing. That वो बोलते हैं ना कितना खून चूसेगी या कितना खून चूसोगे. So it
Oh yeah.
somehow brings that kind of a thing like खून सबने मेरा खून चूस लिया अब मैं सबका खून चूसूंगी वाला thing.
If this
And
podcast reaches Karan Kandhari, I want Karan to come and tell us his side of the story. I mean, what
yeah, yeah,
there
I
is
mean like
no
I can
explainer,
be
nothing around this movie.
I think
So
we might get it totally in the opposite direction of what he's reflecting, but I am just saying what is I felt like a personal touch from my side, like entire thing, because I don't even consider her as a vampire in the entire movie because I think it's just where you have a big mental breakdown and it's just a life before mental breakdown and after mental breakdown. The motives of drinking blood can just be something else other than just her being a vampire, because somewhere see every time she's killing an animal she's also saying sorry,
oh yeah, I
especially to
forgot
the
that bit.
birds and all. Yeah.
Dude, there are so many things in this movie. Even if I watch it like right now, I'm like, there are
Yeah, you
so
will
many
find
things.
it yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many things, like little deep. I'm like the way their house is arranged. Like there is, like, weirdly enough, she wants to sleep in the day and he wants to step out when the in dawn at dawn, and then you're like, yeah, there is symbolism to everything in this movie. And if you love something that has so much like depth to every frame, you'll love this movie. Like, if you're not just looking for like a popcorn, yeah, this movie is popcorn masala, absolutely. But I think you need to be really, really smart, like which Tanmay and I are not, to understand every detail, everything. Karan Kandahari, if you're listening, if this podcast reaches you, please, please, please reach out to us and we will connect with you and discuss this movie again. We'll not take up
Yeah.
that much of your time. Probably like, I don't know, Tanmay, 3, 4 hours, I guess.
3, 4 hours, just 3, 4 hours.
Uh, and
Maybe
yeah,
one night sleep. That's all.
yeah, that's it. Okay. Because,
Maybe it can be a midnight writer podcast with him.
oh yeah, we are brother midnight.
Yeah, brother of midnights.
Yeah. No, brother midnight. Like sister midnight, brother midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to get into the brother thing. Yeah, too
Hmm.
many brothers around.
Oh yeah,
So,
everybody's a pro these days. Okay, so yeah, that okay. One more last thing that I want to discuss about the movie, after which Tanmay you can take over, is the way women are looked in India. Okay, first she's invisible, then she becomes a witch, a kala jadoo karne wali, and then suddenly she becomes a devi. Okay, she doesn't have any powers. Okay, like apart from resurrecting birds and goats, she doesn't have any powers. And then a sheer coincidence of power going off when she suddenly stops and turns around. She people think she has powers and she becomes a devi. You know, I feel in India, a woman is either like a witch or a devi. There is no distinction behind them. I still remember uh, this whole thing. First, I want to give a couple of examples and then a real life example. Okay. So, have you watched this show, Tanmay, Veep?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, in Veep, this female vice president eventually manages to become president of the
Hmm.
United States of America.
Hmm.
Okay. And then, when she finally becomes, just to stay in power, she goes Donald Trump Pro Max. She does horrible things. She has a gay daughter. She criminalizes and she abolishes gay marriage. She does horrible stuff. And I think towards the end, they say, you had the chance of becoming the president and you did such horrible things. No woman has ever become president. Okay. And then there are things like this. This is one prime example of how when women get chance, they're supposed to break everything. Okay. When Nirmala Sitaraman became the first sitting finance minister of India, I think I had written a post, I think on Facebook back then, saying that we should stop looking at politicians and leader as men and women. Okay, I don't have anything against them looking that way, but then again, I feel the pressure of being the first at anything, like be a first female to do this first, and if you mess up somewhere, you are making it difficult for your entire quote unquote community, uh, be it gender, be it race or anything, to gain that power again. And then another real life example. This comes from recent Michelle Obama podcast somewhere, where she says, I think this was a direct jab at Donald Trump, where she says, uh, Barack Obama was so particular about maintaining his clean image because he was the first ever black man to be elected as the president of a country that relatively recently had abolished slavery, one, and had given voting rights to the black community of the country, and then had put them on equal footing with the passage of civil rights acts. And very recently, and Barack Obama, God bless that man's soul, um, he he maintained such a clean image. So And then he did it. I think Barack Obama is a really nice person personally, but then again, he had to do the job properly so that if ever any black man wants to contest for United States uh, presidency, they will be uh, they will not be looked down upon because Barack Obama set such a good example. So yeah, like same thing goes for women. Anytime a woman is a first, they they carry the burden of creating this creating this image for the entire community. So I think that is what women have the burden of. You'll never say a man has to be so good, because if a man messes up, he'll get another chance, but a woman might not. So yeah, that's where I end my analysis of the movie. Tanmay, yours.
Yeah. So something really beautiful that is said in the end, like the pressure of being the first, So drawing from a personal experience, like when I started working in retail at one point. One of my bosses, like super bosses, they told me that it would be that you would be an example for a people in the LGBTQ community of what all you can achieve. Of course, I'm not saying I am the one, but maybe for them they haven't seen someone in a managerial position or the positions which I have identified with. So it actually kind of got me into pressure of choosing the way I behave or the things I need to do or the actions that I need to take. But after a point, you just realize all you have to do is just remove those labels and just be a human. And yeah, I do agree with you. At one point, we just need to stop labeling things and then, uh, you know, look at everyone from a human perspective rather than a main woman in between. So yeah, so getting my analysis of the movie, I don't know, somehow I like the movie as well as I dislike the movie. Uh, I'll start with the dislikes. The few dislikes which I didn't, that was the pacing. Like maybe it was very deliberate that they really want us to tire out, but I think sometimes it felt like a filler scene or maybe like a filler sequence in between. Maybe it was just to tire us out, but yeah, that bored me. And I think the pacing is the only thing which I didn't like in the movie because I literally stopped it in the middle and then I again, like I took a break and then started watching it. But what I love about the movie is the expressions of Radhika Apte. Like you can really see her, going through like if you have observed, there are not much dialogues in the entire movie. The entire movie is either a song or a background noise or the absence of it. There are very, very few dialogues, or even if there is no monologue, I think.
Oh, and whatever
Yeah,
dialogue is there, it's amazing.
yeah. Yeah, so I just love that thing about the entire movie. Like, the read between the people who love reading between the lines, they will enjoy the movie a lot. I enjoyed the movie a lot because of that. Rest of the things I have explained, like the scenes and why I like them.
Hmm,
Yes.
interesting. So we, on the scale of absolutely skip it to a must watch once in a lifetime experience, I rate it. You gotta watch it, no matter what. Tanmay, what about you? Do you have a
I
rating
would
system
say
like I
I
just
would say
came up
watch
with?
it multiple. I said watch it multiple times because definitely you're not going to get the entire movie in one go. I had to watch it three times just to, get into minor details. It's so intricate the entire movie that you have to watch two, three times. And
In my case,
mind
I
you,
didn't have to. I'm like really smart in everything, so I didn't have to watch it multiple times.
that's great. But like every time I watched it from a very different perspective. Like the very first time I watched it, I was going through I was going through a journey of Radhika Apte, like her as a character. Of course, that's what they wanted. The second time I started watching it from Gopal's point of view, and like I won't say he's an entirely green flag, but he's actually a very green flag for the husband.
Oh yeah,
So
you realize it very late that this guy is also a victim of his circumstances. Tanmay, do you remember this
exactly, and the
conversation we
way
had
he
many years
handles,
ago?
yes,
You remember
yes,
this
yes,
conversation we had many years ago about how patriarchy of affects men as much? It affects
yeah, but
men
yeah,
too.
like
Remember this?
silently it affects men also. Yeah, I remember that. He does an awesome job, like of showing that emotions. And the third time, I think I watched it just from the point of view of like not a main character, but just in a blank space, like what exactly is happening. Trying to figure out what does this mean or what does that mean. I didn't try to put my head for the first few times. I was just so invested in just of both of their characters. The third time I was like, okay, let me just watch it to get the Easter eggs.
Yeah. The movie
I
was
mean,
so
yeah,
like it's heavy.
sorry to interrupt. Yeah, so I don't think, according to me, I don't think she becomes a vampire, but it does show her mental breakdown and a person trying to reclaim their life after a mental breakdown. Like the last scene where the goats run to her, I think it's somehow like no matter how far you go in life, there is some weight of the past which keeps, like the ghost of the past, which keeps following you because she is never entertained by, these killings. She even goes and throws this goat in a jungle just to get rid of it. So I think it's us trying to get rid of our emotions of or a few things of our past, but they keep coming back. And she somehow she was like, okay, maybe
Yeah.
I have to live with it and accept it, and that heals her.
That's so sly of you to making me watch the movie again. But I have a philosophy about movies and shows. There is so much good content out there that you watch one movie with full attention if it's amazing. Listen to a podcast, we'll give you amazing recommendations. You go watch that once with full attention, probably take an Adderall, and then go watch that movie and then love it, probably create a podcast with your friends and then put it out there and then go watch another movie, right?
I'm the opposite. In that case, I'm the opposite of you. I am a re-watcher. Like I don't know how many times I have rewatched some things, like something like Schitt's Creek. I think people are done with it in one or two watches, but I have watched it like literally 12 times. The 12th time being in the honor of on the passing of Mrs. Moira Rose.
Moira Rose didn't pass. Catherine O'Hara passed. My Moira Rose is alive
She
and well.
did pass, but she resurrected. It's sad
No,
that Catherine
I'm
O'Hara
saying
can't resurrect.
I'm saying the actor passed. The character is
I know.
alive.
I'm just playing into that episode where she is rumoredly she dies and resurrects. So
Uh, so, Sister Midnight, definitely, according to me, you need to watch it at least once. According to Tanmay, you need to watch it at least thrice to understand the movie. So, you make a choice.
no,
I think you
according
can settle for two
yeah,
times Tanmay, two times between you and me.
I will say watch it n number of times because every time you will find something different in that movie. So yeah, like
Yeah.
if you are very smart and bright as Shorya, you will get everything in the first go. But if you are very intuitive and emotional like me, you might love to watch it multiple times.
Yeah. Smart lives, I guess. Okay. Okay. So, let's move on to our next segment.
Yes.
The next segment being where Tanmay and I tell something that has absolutely delighted us this week and something that has pissed us off. So we'll start with the pissy part just so that we can give you the sweet part in the end. So for me, this week, I watched this video on YouTube about Death Trap. I don't know about Death Trap, and I went into the spiral to understand what a Death Trap is. So debt trap basically is you take money from somewhere and then as a loan, and then you're unable to pay it back, and then you keep going into this spiral where you're not.
where you're earning but you don't have any money. And there are services, I think, abroad in developed countries where they help you consolidate all these loans. In India, not really. There are not any such services. So I was looking at this data in the same video about how people are affected by this thing, which is like an epidemic right now. I hope somebody is listening to us. Somebody is looking into this. By the way, that video had really less views. So that kind of pissed me off. Tanmay, what pissed you off this week, or what are you pissed about in general these days?
Currently, nothing actually, but one, like, it didn't piss me off, but I can understand that if I would have been at a place, I would have been totally pissed off. So today I read a news that a guy in France, he got admitted in the emergency ward, and when the what you can say, the nurses and the doctors, they figured out what happened. So basically, he has used a World War One ammunition, like a small 8-inch bomb, as a dildo. He didn't know it was a bomb, but yeah, he used it as a dildo, and they had to literally evacuate the entire hospital, get the bomb squad and all. So yeah, so if I would have been at the doctor's place, I would have been really pissed off that I am trying to do something meaningful with my life, and then there is this person coming with a bomb in his ass just because he
Oh,
didn't want to buy a dildo.
you're saying this happened in Europe, the country where sex toys
France,
are sold
yes,
openly?
yes, yes.
Oh my God. Like, dude, you can literally find like a sex toy of any size and nature, I think, on your version of Blinkit. Why would you put, oh, by the way, Blinkit, if you're listening, please sponsor us. Uh, like, you can find it anywhere. What are you doing, man? Okay.
I mean, yeah, I was like, what? Literally, I was thinking like, dude, you need a dildo, right? It's so easy to get. If not anything, like, why do you want? Even if you don't know it's a bomb, but it does look like something like ammunition or something like that. I would really not put that in my body because what
Yeah.
all is inside that metal. I really don't want it to explode in me, even if it's a bullet.
Okay. Okay. So let's get on to the good part. A
Yeah.
news that really made me happy. So, I know, I read this on LinkedIn, okay? And I verified that news, and it's pretty much true. Okay. So there is this woman who works on in one of the topmost IT companies in US. With everything that's going on in US, uh, with the whole get rid of DEA thing, women should be trad wives and everything. Okay. So this woman used to be at a certain position, and then she went on a maternity leave. Even in India, where women in workforce are looked, women of who just got married and who wants to have kids are looked as liabilities. Uh, women are looked, women as looked as a burden on company because they might end up going on maternity leave, which is really sad. I mean, like I just can't begin to express my pain and anger there. Okay, so this woman went on maternity leave, and because she was so qualified and so amazing at the work she did, while on a maternity leave, her company called her and told her, "Hey, we've promoted you to manager." So she's like, "When do I start?" And they said, "When you get back from maternity leave." Of course. And this woman came back with a promotion. She left the job at a certain designation, and she came back from the maternity leave with a promotion. How amazing is that?
That's
I mean, we
yeah,
need
that's really
so
great.
many more examples. I still remember I was having this conversation with a friend who wanted to get promoted, and he went on a tirade against, like, oh, this girl will get promoted, soon she'll go on a maternity leave. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, You're telling me a 50% of employable population should not work because just because they can reproduce? I mean, that means disaster in terms of economy and everything. And that's not even human. So, like, are you willing to reproduce? No, you can't. So, let them have their career. You can have your cake and eat it too. That particular post, and how I verified, I went to that particular person's, this woman's profile, and checked their designation and transitions. And I did a little bit of stalking. And yes, they were at a certain position. They posted on their LinkedIn about how they had a baby around that time, and then suddenly this promotion comes exactly around the same time. So yes, this news is verified. Tell me what made you happy this week.
This week, I mean, the one of the things which really runs on top of my mind is having this small meeting with a baby monkey. So I went on this trek, and it's not big trek. It's just like you have to just climb like around 700 steps. So and a little bit of like there are some rough patches, but mostly steps. So it was a really sunny day. I was tired climbing till like 500 steps and all. So I reached a point where it was only me on that trail, and I can hear something, some noise around me. So I'm like, yeah, okay, wild animals, like mostly monkeys and all. So from the corner of my eye, I felt like someone is walking with me. So I just stopped and, I was like, I'll take a break. Let's just take a break. So I just stopped and I saw that there's a, I don't know how old was the baby monkey. It was like really like the size of a cat. So there was this baby monkey who was following me. And luckily, nothing violent happened, but I sat and that poor baby came and sat near me. By the looks of the face, I got to know that, of course, a monkey needs a treat. So I just looked in my bag and there was nothing much, like just few leaves and like from a mandir, just few flowers and leaves that the Panditji gave me. So I just took it out and I handed it over to him. So the very cute thing is he ate all the leaves and then he smelled the flowers and gave it back to me. And the poor baby was really thirsty, so I gave him a bottle of water. He drank that bottle of water and still, I think the monkey was lost, so he still sat next to me. I thought drinking water and all will make him go away, but it didn't happen. So after a point, I again got up. I started walking, and that poor baby came all the way to the temple top. Like, sorry, I think I need to repeat this because Ram is.
It's okay. Ram wants to contribute. We let Ram contribute. Oh, Ram is Tanmay's cat, and she's so cute. Tanmay has, yeah, I keep forgetting that.
I'm a
So,
cat lady. Yeah.
yeah. So,
So I just
JD
quickly
Vance
wrap.
wouldn't like Tanmay.
Sorry.
JD Vance, the Vice President of United
Yeah,
States,
yeah,
wouldn't like Tanmay because he's a childless cat lady.
yeah. Yeah.
We have to dedicate an entire episode to talk about the US politics, dude. I'm so much into deep into it right now. Okay, so what happened to this baby monkey? What a baby monkey scored, by the way. Anyways, continue your story.
Yeah. So yeah, like, while we were walking, I was, trying to break some branches and hand it over to the baby, and few branches the monkey tossed away. Few they kept eating. After a point, I think even the monkey knows that the pandit or someone won't allow them that talk. So he just went away in the bushes. But it was really cute to have a small companion for the last few steps of the trek.
Hmm.
That cheered me up. I was smiling the entire day after that. So just thinking about, I'm smiling now just thinking about it.
To answer my previous question, a baby monkey is called an infant. I looked up for it on a very popular search engine that can also sponsor us. We'll take your name. Okay? Look at me begging for money from people. Okay, coming back. So yeah, so the baby monkey made you happy. A woman on maternity leave
made me happy. Back from maternity leave and getting promoted made me happy. Uh, a bomb as a dildo made you got you pissed.
Not
And
pissed. Like I empathized with the pissed doctors.
okay, so pissed you of an empathy. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of life. Okay, and
Yeah.
then the whole epidemic of debt trap got me really pissed. So yeah, there are the things. Hmm. So first podcast, Tanmay, how do you feel? Relieved?
Um, I'm just I'm just waiting for the comments. Like, see, we are trying to be very nice to each other, guys. We don't
Oh, this is
really.
not us. This is not us.
Yeah, this is not
Absolutely.
us. This is just an artifice. But I'm pretty much sure the more we'll get comfortable into it, the more you'll start enjoying it. I think it will be
Yeah.
like our podcast will be like Sister Midnight. That once you won't get it, but twice you will get it.
Yeah. We are, and we'll have guest stars like Tanmay's cats, my to be wife, and my to be wife is also really funny. Weirdly enough, Tanmay and my wife,
We
and
really get along.
yeah, they think they get along, but they really don't know each other as much as I do know them. And yeah, I'll be
I
there
mean,
for that fallout.
people for our bond also, people trauma bond. Your fiance and me, we just bond over, bullying you.
Yeah, my fiance. My fiance,
Yeah.
people. I'll introduce you to her soon. Okay.
I don't think people will dive into it if after first 20 minutes. I think after the point they will be like, okay, this is too much. Because I won't blame them. But yeah, if they have listened to us now, I think they will really be into it. Because then they're like, okay, the personalities are blooming, so I think they will give us a second chance.
Oh, by the way, we are recording this on 8th Feb 2026 at 1 p.m. at night. And
Yeah.
Tanmay and I are separated by a distance of 600 kilometers right now. But
Mhm.
I think we are always together. Hmm. Emotionally and uh, all the other ways. But physically, we are 600 kilometers
Oh
apart,
my
away from
God.
each other.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so I think I'm hoping uh, for at least 100 plays. I think let's that's the most realistic expectation I have, and I want people to listen to us at least like 10 people to listen to us from end to end. And like, oh my God,
I think
have you heard this
10,
guy? तो हमारे
10,
रिश्तेदार ही सुन लेंगे.
yeah, exactly. 10 is easy because if I tell my family, you tell your family, and we tell our friends, they will listen to us. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's nothing,
absolutely.
as I said, if not one full hour, they'll at least listen to first 20. What's the algorithm for, like for Instagram, it's like the first 3 seconds, like watched after first 3 seconds. We have to figure out for different things. So, guys, we
Absolutely.
will let you know the algorithm at least उतना देख लेना यार.
हाँ यार please stay clear now. Okay. Okay. So our next episode, I'm going to do Schrodinger here. Okay. I'm going to tell you two things that we can talk about, or we won't talk about, or we can talk about one of them. Okay. The first one is Schitt's Creek. We can talk about Schitt's Creek in detail the way we talked about today, but that episode will be a bit longer because Schitt's Creek is not a movie, it's a show spanning multiple seasons and years and many more characters than just two to three. And or we talk about a series of movie or a web series based on the real life serial killer. I'm going to leave it at that. What do you think it's going to be, Tanmay?
I mean, if it's a serial killer, I'm all in. I love doing that. And there are actually, there are so many good series. Are
I love how you're giving your
now,
unsolicited opinion, but I'm asking
yeah,
you, what do you
it's like a
think?
Sophie's choice actually.
Yeah, maybe we'll do both. Maybe we'll do just one, or maybe we won't do
One
any
at
of
a
it.
time would be good
Or
because
maybe
Shit's Creek I
Tanmay,
can talk for 3 hours.
or maybe Tanmay will die, and I will do
Yeah,
this podcast with somebody else. I
yeah.
love
And
how
then
I,
host will keep counting this entire
yeah.
podcast.
Absolutely. Okay. So there you have it, guys. This is our first podcast. These two talk. And we did talk. We talked a lot. We talked
You
into the
talk.
midnight. We talked into the midnight about System Midnight. Signing off,
Yes.
this is Shaurya.
This is Tanmay.
Bye, guys.